Subscribe. All right, what's happening with it, man? It's White Boy Radio. Back with another one. If you're asking why I did a little 30-second intro, because this is probably gonna do it. This is probably gonna be premiere. I'm getting slowly back into the prison videos. Okay, it's what I started the channel at. It's what I came to YouTube about, and I've learned doing this. Sometimes you got to space the big ones out. You know, a lot of the prison guys, they burn out because they come on the scene, they tell all their stories, what they seen in there, all the scraps, all the fights, all the craziness within like 2 weeks of not understanding this, and they burn out and they have a whole bunch of whatever happens comes next. But not over here. It's White Boy Radio on Twitter, IG, and Getter. Follow Wifey's channel. Okay. So look, this is actually a redo video. If you've been a member of mine for a long time, I done this video, and I did it a long time ago, and I wanted to make that one public, but I wanted to wait till the audience was up a bit. Hey man, to each and everybody, I really appreciate it, man. We're over 8K, moving towards 10K. And a big shout out to everybody, especially my members. All right, so here it is, man. Let's just get into it. Enough of me yapping. This is the hands down craziest thing I ever seen, experienced in the Florida Department of Corrections. In total, over 7 years. Okay, so is this the most violent thing in the world? No. Is it the most graphic thing in the world? No. Well, I guess it's the way you look at the word graphic. So here it is. And I got to give it to the white boys on this one. All right. So there was a dude named Alabama. He was in with me. He was a bro of mine. He got cased up coming from Alabama, and that was just his nickname. You get all these weird nicknames at prison. It's not yours. It's what's given to you. It's a nickname. Okay. Everybody has them. His name was Bama. He was a skinny dude, didn't work out. He didn't get much money. His family didn't support him financially when he was doing his bid. He just was, but he was cool. He was funny. You know, in the state of Florida, I'll never forget this. They give you these weird, these weird glasses. Like if you wear glasses on the street, you're screwed, man, if you have to go in on there. They give you these glasses and they look like Chomo glasses. Seriously. They're very thick, outdated, not stylish, big, goofy looking glasses. And that's what I remember Bama wearing all the time. He had these glasses. Okay. You'd have to be in to really catch that. But I mean, literally, just imagine if he was to look on a map with these glasses, he could see Waldo waving. I mean, that's how big and thick they were. All right. We're chilling one day. And again, he didn't get much money. It was myself. It was Bama. This is my first time in. My buddy Nick from St. Pete. My buddy Beamer. Big. Shout out to Beamer. Very comical individual. A good friend of me and my wife. And Busby. Busby was a big, swole dude from Polk County. Polk County had a reputation. I don't know if they still do. I would imagine so. In the state of Florida, if they say in the state of Florida, Polk County is the meth capital of Florida. Okay, so there's like a running saying that Fort Lauderdale is the blue capital. You know, like Roxycodones and what have you, and then you have Polk County is the meth capital. Okay, it's just an inside thing on the yard in prison or whatever have you. But the saying is, if you're from Polk County and most of those guys get arrested, they're all shrunk up from doing, you know, from being had a monkey on their back, meth, whatever, and they go in there and blow up. And I don't know if that was Busby's case. He was big as a house. He was huge. Cool dude, though. Very good people. He did a long time, too. I think he ended up serving like 15 years. He's out now, but shout out to Busby. But anyway, that's who was around me in this story, okay? We were all standing on the yard, and it was second yard, And at this point in time, and this story that I'm telling, this was when the state of Florida, they sold tobacco on the canteen. Okay, so and at the time, if you wanted cigarettes, they had it's a pack of cigarettes, Tops cigarettes. It's a yellow pack of cigarettes. It was like $2 for a pack, something like that. You had to hand roll your own cigarettes. All right. I think they were like $2 at the time. Then I still dip. It's one of my only vices. Okay. I do Copenhagen pouches, but at the time that I was incarcerated, the dip that they had were so Tops was your cheap cigarette, $2 a pack. They had a can of dip. It was called Red Seal, and it was like $4.98 for a can. And they also had Copenhagen. No, I'm sorry. They had Skull and Copenhagen were available, but they were like more or less like $8 or $9 a can. All right. So everybody would also, with the cigarettes, they had Marlboros and they had Newports. But again, it's very expensive. So people would just go the cheaper route. They had tobacco though. And look, let me tell you, man, I know if you watch prison content, if you watch content where people are talking about the inside doing time, you're going to hear crazy stories about what guys will do for food because they're starving, what people will do for Zoom Zooms and Wham Whams, what people do for ramen soups, what people do for ramen, however you say it, what people do for snacks, goodies, and treats. You'll hear crazy stories about all of what I just said. But if you think those stories are bad, you should see what dudes do for tobacco when they have none. Nicking, man, it goes down. Okay, it goes down. When I used to dip, I would never, ever let anybody get any, okay? Because in prison, you don't have hand sanitizer. You don't have, you go to the sink, there's not a nice bar of soap or a little push down thing of soap available. You have to use your own. A lot of germs in there. I don't want your fingers in my can. Okay, no way. You just see me back there whacking off, wiping your butt. No, I'm good. Plus, people used to put the big shovel in there. I used to call it the big shovel. I dip dips. Literally, it's a dip. It's not loose, right? But inside there it was loose. So if I was to be dipping loose tobacco, 2 fingers, a pinch. You pinch it real good, and you load it. Okay. People come with their dump trucks, their shovels. They want to grab like this much. This is what it happens. So you used to call me lobster, king crab. Yeah, I'll be all that. You're just not putting your hand in my stuff, right? It goes down inside. So Alabama had no money on his card, and he was nicking like a mofo. We're around the circle of people that I said. And it just become like, what will you do for the tobacco? And Busby, the big swole dude from Polk, was like, I got money on the card. You know what I mean? He's like, matter of fact, it started because he asked Busby to buy him a can until his money hit. And Busby's like, nah, I ain't going to do it. Now, look, they were cool. He was obviously comfortable enough with him to ask him that. But Busby really was just pulling his strings and talk about peer pressure and all that. And we were all clowning on Bama. So meat potatoes, man. Busby's like, look, I got money, man. He's like, dip your sack in that ant pile right there. And so Bama was thinking about it, right? And we're all trying to boost him up. We're all trying to get him to do it, this and that. And he's like, nah, I can't do it. So Busby literally walks. Now we're on the yard. So he literally walks to the window, buys himself a microwavable burger, okay, and a can of Sprite, soda, whatever it was, comes back. Oh, and a can of dip for himself. Busby was a big dipper himself. He comes back with a can of dip. He eats the burger. He smashes the Sprite and he loads the old lip up. And he shows him his receipt. When you buy something, it says your remaining balance, blah, blah, blah. He had he just got sent in some good money. And he's like, bro, I'm telling you, just dump the old sack in the ant pile, and bro, I'll go get you a can. And so everyone's boosting him up. Come on, you gotta do it. Look, I tell you, man, people will do whatever for tobacco. So he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And finally, he's like, all right, I'll do it. You know, I didn't expect this to come, but let me tell you the rest of the story. So he nuts up and he's going to do it. Okay. So there's an ant pile here, right? So Busby goes, all right, we got to get him riled up. He steps in the ant pile, does one of them, gets them things all fired up. Now, these are red ants. I'm sure everybody has them. Let me know in the comments. Red ants, red fire ants. So he steps in the ant pile, smears his foot around there. Okay. And he's like, all right, you got to do it. Now, look, we were all boosting at him up to do this. But at the end of the day, nobody wanted him to get in trouble. You just can't whip out your sack and you just can't put it in an ant pile. It's against the rules and regulations. Now, there's not a specific rule against that, but you just can't do it. You can't be taking your pants off like that. So we made a little barricade for him with us. You know, we're all pretty good sized dudes. And at the same time, we're cracking up because we're literally blocking. We have to body block for him to dip his sack in an ant pile. Okay, so he's getting ready to do it. He drops the old pajamas, you know, the blue top, the blue pants with the white stripe down the side. He drops them, and these things are all fired up. And look, he dunks them. He dunks them. Now, when he dunks them, he sits down in it. We're blocking. We're getting our peaks. He immediately beelines to medical. Beelines to medical. Like I'm talking about Usain Bolt status to medical. Goes in there and he's in there for some time. We're cracking up. Cracking up. This dude just dunked his sack in an ant pile. He's in medical for some time. And man, some time goes. He finally, matter of fact, they call Yard. He was in there forever. They call Yard. So we all go back to our dorms. It was funny as hell. But at the same time, we're a little bit worried about him because we all amped him up to do it, man. And it would have been shitty if he went to confinement and then, you know, went home late to his family, whatever else. No, that was never anybody's intention. So he, the next Yard rolls around and we all immediately, you know, find each other, this and that. And he's telling us what's going on and we're all deciphering the story. And what happened after was, you know, the better part of it, I guess, if you will. So when he went to medical, he had there was a nurse in there. Okay. And I spoke about women COs and whatever have you a few times. I'm going to get back into those things, tell my experiences with whatever. But when I say women COs, also like nurses, the dental staff, whatever have you, they fall right in line. Okay. Now look, shout out to anybody who works in a prison or a jail, especially if you're on if you're a nurse or something. Look, those people do good work. They really do. Okay. But just as they do good work, okay, they're not green. They know the insides of prison. They're not, you know, they're not stupid. Okay. So his excuse here was that he fell asleep by the volleyball net. And he said that the ants attacked his testicles. The lady is a nurse. She's not stupid. She's just like, I'm just not buying it. Okay. She's like, so you mean to tell me you fell asleep by the volleyball net and by an ant pile and they all just attacked your testicles? She knew something was up. She just couldn't figure it out. So, you know, when you go to medical, there's COs all in there. It's not like it's one-on-one with a doctor or whatever, but there's COs around. And she was like so like baffled that she couldn't figure it out. And she knew he was lying. So she's like, I'm gonna go get the sergeant, man, and you're gonna have to really tell me what's going on so I can help you. He's like, no, I don't do it. No, don't do it. I don't want to go confinement. He's like, look, what had happened was for Canada dip, I dunked him. And she was just like, what the hell? She's cracking up. I mean, naturally it's funny, right? But So she didn't tell on him. She didn't tell on him. You know, but at some point she had to tell on him. I don't know what it was, but she had to tell some CO that was there. But they both were laughing. Like it didn't even go the way that everyone thought it was going to go. She was cracking up. The CO was cracking up. Okay, everyone's cracking up. Now, what made it funny now is the whole situation. He got his can of dip, but you know, after that, like back to like women COs and nurses and whatnot. You know, these women get hit on all day, every day by dudes with hella game. Okay, at least so the people that were there had something new, I guess, to say to the nurse, had something new to joke about. And everybody didn't know about what I'm saying right now. It was only a select few people. But, you know, what I'm saying is like dudes would now have a chance, you know, when they see the nurse, you know, just little sideways stuff in between each other, back and forth. And it was just something different, I guess, if you will. And it was out of control, man. This dude literally, he did it, man. I didn't think he was going to do it in the beginning. He absolutely did it. Busby got him the can of dip, without a doubt. And we all kind of went in on another can. So he got 2 cans for it. We all threw a couple soups here, a couple cookies here. We all went in. Somebody else got another can off their card, and we all threw a little something to the guy who did that. You know, take care of him, whatever. Dude got his dip. Man, people will do anything. It was like that until they took off the cigarettes, man. And if you don't know about why they took it off, it's people were getting cancer, man. These are unfiltered cigarettes. You know, it's too costly for the state of Florida to, I believe that's the whole country did, if I'm not mistaken, but at least in Florida, I can speak for. It was too costly if people had cancer on the inside. You got to transfer them to hospitals, this and that. No one's picking the tabs up. The state's having to deal with it, so they just said with the cigarettes, resulting in massive hustles. Now, inmates knew that they're taking the cigarettes off the canteen on this day. So at that point, people knew that they're going to wipe it. Okay, so they were making moves to get cigarettes in. I mean, for me to basically explain this in a nutshell, a pack of cigarettes now is what, $7, $8? That's now. You could make easily $8 a cigarette. So you have 20 cigarettes in a pack. That's 160 at 20 a cigarette. That's 160 a pack, right? You know, so, and it depends. It really depends on the amount of cigarettes that are on the compound. Because now that I just did the math on one pack, you know, you cut them into chunks, basically $8 off one cigarette, whatever it is that big, becomes $8. So 8 pieces, right? But if there's less cigarettes on the compound, if nobody has them, if no one's making moves, man, that thing just become $40. And then that 160 just doubled. So it's and that's this one little hustle, one little thing that I'm talking about. Something like cigarettes, you know, or this right here cost me about $7 when I go to the store. Matter of fact, it's more like 8 now. You know, inside of prison, this same can is about, depending on how much is on there, whatever have you, is $25 to $40, more or less like 40. But the deal is, you know, back to women CEOs and whatnot. For someone who's going to work every day, they don't get paid a lot of money. And they get approached by guys with a simple request. Look, especially if the CO smokes, she's already By the time she has to come back to work the next day, she already has to stop somewhere in between going home or going to work to get herself a pack of cigarettes. While she's there, it's not that big of a deal for her to pick up a couple extra packs, put them in her purse, however she does it, go to work, and then here you go. Why no one's looking? And then a few days go by, and the inmate goes, well, here you go. It's your cut. It's not out of her way. It's nothing. You know what I mean? That's how it starts, man. That's how it starts. Every single time, every single way. Okay. Sometimes it's not cigarettes. Sometimes it's other things. Man, I told a story on the channel. I had a Sarge. He bought me with one of these. Now, I didn't want to do it. I was in confinement. And all of a sudden, under the door, I'm like, man. And then I was getting extra trays back there. And then all of a sudden, the favor came for me to do what I had to do. And at this point, I could not tell him no, because then I would be scarred. I already took the dip, ate the trays. So if I would have told him no when his favor came, he would have kept me back there as long as he physically wanted to, man. It's crazy, man. It's very hard to explain these stories. I enjoy doing the prison content, but I also like my crime stuff. It gives me the chance to go back and forth with it, if you will. Shout out to all my subscribers who've been down for the prison videos. Shout out to my subscribers who are down for the crime videos. We're all family either way. At the end of the day, for me, it is longevity in the channel, man. And that's what I'm trying to do, man. Hey, look, I hope you enjoyed it. It's nuts. Shout out to Alabama, man. Hope you got another pair of glasses. And, man, not trying to be funny or anything, but I really wonder if he has scars. Because, look, I have scars. Well, they were big old carpenter ants, man. One time I passed out on a car, and I rolled over and I landed in an ant pile, but they were big old carpenter ants, not the fire ants. I had a couple of scars there from them. I'm just saying. I wonder if he does. Who knows? Subscribe, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. It is White Boy Radio, man. Make sure that you're following the Twitter. Okay, it's at White Boy Radio over there, man. All right, we're on IG. Follow it. We'll show up here. Follow the IG. All right. Out of here, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one.
I could care less about that attorney. And